In a summer morning at Lhasa in 2009, which was the very first moment that I could feel natural Tibet, a typical Tibetan street appeared before me. This narrow street seemed like it was born under my feet, and it was endless. Tiny, colorful flags were hanging orderly along the street, which was a long historical tradition of local residents. Tibet's unique geographical location has resulted Tibetan special costume. Tibet has long been known as the roof of the world because of its elevation of 11,800 feet. Lhasa is the regional economic center of Tibet, and it has a history stretching back more than 1,300 years. The historical records reported that Lhasa has been valued as the holy ground of Tibetan Buddhism. People who live in Tibet, from generation to generation, have been taught to be devout disciples of Buddhism in their whole lifetime. Tibetans have been ruled under spiritual rulers of Buddhism since 1640s till now. All Tibetans believe in Dalai Lama, the highest leader of them, who was also seen as the spiritual gift of Buddha. Due to its serious religious historical background, most of the time, the news media in Central Plains of China tend to report on Tibet with a negative tone, attaching pictures of those disciples in the articles and characterizing Tibetan into blind religious zealots. Most of the journalists usually aimed at the way that Tibetans used to pray, kowtow. Kowtow is the action of deep respect shown by prostration, that is, kneeling and bowing low enough as to have one's head touching the ground. Then, one would put the whole body tightly touching the ground, head down, keeping his or her arms on top of head. Then, one would stand up and repeat it recurrently. When I was excited about watching local people who were performing kowtow, my Tibetan guide, Nima, asked me the question, "Why do visitors feel curious about kowtow?" And I answered with uncertainty. He explained, when he was born, his mom had told him that, in his life, there would be a belief of Buddhism growing deeply in his heart that would always accompany him. Nima also said that his family educated him to interpret Buddhism as a way to self-regulate. He said, "We would do kowtow all the way from home to temple. We seemingly move our bodies for a long trip. Nevertheless, we're searching for inner peace, and that is how we get close to Buddha. Buddha is a faith." Nima asked me what my faith is. What is faith? I was neither a professional philosopher nor a believer. There was no in-depth concept of faith in my mind at all. I was the one who had been told to hold atheism, as well as to eulogize Chinese communism. Religious belief might be just a propaganda to me. However, in Tibet, when the silent lakes were shining on the top of snowy mountains, and the neighborhood monks were praying at temples even though there were few who hear or visit them, I found a synonym of peace, and perhaps I found a sign of faith. I could finally give a great explanation of the blind devout act. If one has faith, whether it is spirit or a religion, it becomes the right guidance. Tibetans live in their heart, not in others' eyes. Kowtow is simply the reflection of Tibetan Buddhism belief. I hope I could walk slowly once again on the land of Tibet, crossing the raven's crossbar from a hidden lake to an empty cave. I have asking myself questions about faith since then. Only when I hear the beautiful voice of a Buddhist chant, the answer becomes clear. Have you ever seen Tibetan Buddhists when they keep repeating kowtow along the highway and all the way up to the temple? Their bodies affectionately kiss the ancient Tibet land. Their faces and hands are all dirty, but hearts are clean and calm towards their left-term holy faith.